nation experienced many ups and downs in 2008. An economic crisis caused the stock market to spiral downward and led to a multi-million-dollar bailout. But after the presidential election, Americans elected a man they hope will bring change to our weary nation. Laura Hoffman reports the nation's biggest events.
In early 2008, a recession swept the nation. Thousands of jobs were lost and the stock market hit record lows. The Dow Jones Industrial Average dropped thousands of points and many companies were in danger of bankruptcy. The year of 2008 will be forever remembered as the harshest year since the Great Depression. Because of the turbulent stock market, many companies were forced to request government bailouts. In September, the U.S. government seized control of one of the world's biggest insurers, American International Group. In order to avoid bankruptcy, AIG received an $85 million emergency loan. In the months following, the stock market seemed to rebound and faith was restored for 2009. In November, Americans' hope was given a face. Barack Obama was elected as the first black president. Americans viewed him as a person who would implement change and are eagerly awaiting the next 4 years to see what he will accomplish. On January 20th, former Senator Barack Obama was sworn in as America's 44th president. Here's Phil Wrighthouse with some Purdue students watching the historical event.
January 20th was a pioneering day in American history as Barack Obama was sworn in as the 44th president of the United States. The Purdue student government sponsored a viewing of the day's events at the Union, and many students took advantage of any available television to watch this historic event. Cheers erupted as President Obama took his oath and became America's first African-American president. In the Union South Ballroom, students, faculty, and community members gathered to listen to the president's inaugural speech. He addressed the economy, the war, and the significance that the day held not only for America, but for the world as well. It was a day that no student will forget. Reporting for Fast Track, I'm Phil Wrighthouse.
An $825 billion economic stimulus package could stave off another Great Depression. But Fast Track political commentator Mike Westervelt is worried about misplaced spending.
Bipartisanship is normally a pretty great thing. Two different ideologies coming together, collaborating, using synergy to produce a final product better than both originals. Like I said, that's normally a pretty good thing, except when one side is flat out wrong. And this week, it's the Republicans. Of course, I'm talking about the federal $825 billion stimulus package. At a time when our nation's infrastructure is crumbling, the right side of the aisle wants tax cuts. That's right, we have steam pipes bursting in Manhattan, bridges falling in Minneapolis, and right here in West Lafayette, Indiana, Lindbergh Road is literally sinking into a swamp. I know, what we need now is tax cuts. No. As of Wednesday, 1/3 of the stimulus package is tax cuts and roughly 15% is infrastructure spending, and the House passed that this week. The rest goes to education and health care programs, which, don't get me wrong, we desperately need. But in my opinion, the proportion between infrastructure spending and also tax cuts is way off, and Republicans want to increase those tax cuts astronomically. Their proposal would have included a 5% across-the-board slash. Sounds great, right? But here's the catch. Economists agree that what will likely work best is a combination of both public works spending and tax cuts. But even that is a guess because the whole bail out the economy before it totally fails idea is still kind of a brand new concept. No one knows for sure what the right stimulus formula is. So House Minority Leader John Boehner, please stop pretending you know. You didn't wake up one morning with divine knowledge. You don't know. What I can say is at the end of the day, if I got a measly tax break, it wouldn't go to the economy. It would go to pay off a credit card debt or a student loan. That is not an economic stimulus. On the other hand, spending money on badly needed repairs and public projects create jobs, and it helps solve a problem this country has ignored for decades. Not to mention, when did House Republicans suddenly start caring about tax cuts for the middle class?
Mike Westervelt is a senior in the College of Liberal Arts and Fast Track's political commentator. He joins us each week.
Well, this winter we sure have had our fair share of freezing rain, sleet, and now snow. Let's go to Brian Wolfe for a detailed look at the difference between the three.
Several different types of winter weather precipitation. We want to take a look at how such things actually occur. First, we're going to look at freezing rain. This occurs in the atmosphere at the cloud level when you see frozen precipitation as snow, except as it falls towards the ground, you will see it melt all the way into liquid rain, but then right above the surface you see a very thin, shallow layer of cold air. That's air below the freezing point, 32 degrees Fahrenheit. So it super cools, and any surface that's on the Earth's surface that is below freezing, it will actually freeze as freezing rain. Now, if we come back and take a look at sleet, we can see how sleet forms as it falls throughout the atmosphere. It's kind of the same procedure, except as it reaches this shallow layer of warm air, notice this layer is a lot thinner than that layer that we saw with freezing rain. So the snow doesn't completely melt, so it's kind of half snow, half rain. So then when it falls through a deep layer of cold air, it half refreezes, and that's how we see sleet. Now, if we come back and take a look at snow, snow is pretty simple to explain. You've got precipitation up at the cloud level, and you can see over here to the right the environmental temperature. It stays below that freezing mark from the cloud base all the way down to the surface of the Earth. So this precipitation just falls all the way down and it remains as snow, so there is no melting involved.
Purdue students started the semester off on a very chilly note. Fast Track forecaster Samantha brings you some more information on sub-zero weather.
Winter brings many obvious things: winter clothes, snow, and an increased traffic for hot drinks. But during the first week of classes, Purdue students dealt with something a bit more uncommon: sub-zero temperatures. An Arctic blast had brought a few days of dangerous wind chills in the middle of the school week. At its worst, one morning as students were heading to class, the wind chill was around -35 degrees Fahrenheit. Wind chills of this magnitude can cause frostbite in just 10 minutes, but Purdue chose not to cancel classes, and most students did not agree with this.
I was actually really surprised that Purdue didn't cancel classes because it was almost a health hazard, and having a 7:30 class when you had to walk to class so early and it was so incredibly cold, it just hurt to go outside.
I know I had a couple classes that were 15 minutes from my house, and walking across campus, you had to have layers of clothes on to even stay somewhat warm.
Walking around, you can feel all the hairs in your nose freezing, which isn't much fun. And I had a couple of professors that did cancel class on their own, but I feel that Purdue could have done a better job handling it. All they did was issue one little statement that said, it's going to be really cold, so make sure you wear some extra clothes, and good luck out there.
There may not be a lot we can do about Purdue canceling classes, but there are some steps you can take to help protect yourself. Stay hydrated and eat lots of food, especially carbs, which your body can later turn into heat if necessary. If anything starts to feel numb, quickly warm them. This is an early warning sign of frostbite. If your skin starts to show any signs of frostbite, get inside quickly and don't rub it. Let it warm up on its own. Make sure you always wear a hat, gloves, or mittens, and thick socks. And remember, to help keep yourself safe, always keep an eye on the weather. Sub-zero temperatures are always a possibility in Indiana during the winter, so dress warmly and take precautions to stay safe. And try your best to make it to class. For the Fast Track Weather Team, I'm Samantha Wild.
Purdue alumni Chesley B. Sullenberger made headlines recently after his quick thinking saved the lives of 155 people. The pilot was forced to make a daring landing in the Hudson River January 16th after two of the plane's engines failed shortly after takeoff. Investigators stated the engine malfunction was due to a flock of birds flying into the engines, causing them to explode. Despite the severity of the situation, Sullenberger was able to land the plane without any casualties or serious injuries. New York Governor David Paterson called the event a miracle.
After this next break, we'll join our sports team for a look at women's basketball and the new record set by our track and field team. We'll be right back.
Todos son bienvenidos. The Latino Cultural Center was established to help promote and enhance understanding of the Latino culture through history and growth. Students and faculty can come and learn about the culture using resources provided by the LCC, such as an ITAP computer lab, a library, study rooms, and lounge areas. The LCC also offers a variety of programs such as Spanish conversation tables, internships, and a Latino leadership retreat. For more information about the LCC, you can visit the website at purdue.edu/LCC, or you can stop by the center located at 6th and Russell.